mercy, what a stop!
My goodness, what a save!
What a save! What a glove save there, but what a stop! Looked like a short goal. You talk about an A+ save and maybe the save of the night.
Welcome to the Goalie Science Podcast, where we break down the science of goaltending, coaching, and everything in between. I'm Dr. Jamie Phillips, former professional goalie, board-certified physical therapist, and goalie performance specialist, alongside my co-host, Derek Boujan, owner of Boujan Goaltending and On Ice Hockey Performance Center. Whether you're on your way to a game, gearing up for practice, or just tuning in, grab your favorite drink and let's drop the puck on this week's episode. Hey everyone, Dr. Jamie here. I'll be really quick so you can get right back to the episode. I just want to say that this episode is sponsored by the Ghost Rehab Performance Complete Performance Program. This is basically my life's work and Coach Ben's life work of putting together the best possible training program. It runs 365 days a year. So we have specific training days, movement days, recovery days, visualization, mindsets, meditations, yoga, movement flows. Basically, we put it all together so that it answers the question, what do I need to do today? So you never have to ask that again. Checks every single box, and it's the best program that we could have possibly built. It runs all year, all the time, forever. It's $98 a month. It basically replaces like a $5,000 a month personal trainer. So the links in the description if you want to get it. There's some community in there. You can talk to us. You talk to all the Ghost coaches. I talked to all the athletes in there. So go check it out. Sign up. There's also a free 7-day trial to make sure you like it. If you don't like it, no questions asked, just cancel and you don't have to pay a cent. All right, let's get back to the episode. Welcome to another episode of the Goalie Science Podcast. I believe it's 133. At least that is what you told me to do. So if we are wrong, blame Derek. Don't blame me for not doing my homework. We're back. We took a week off. Turns out when we don't have presenting sponsors, the intensity for us to actually get a pod that week is not as high. So if you want more consistent pods, we just need more consistent presenting sponsors. But a lot of people bought, a lot of people were sending me pictures of their Easy Crease, and I'm glad. So shout out Easy Crease for sponsoring the last couple episodes, and for everyone that picked one up, thank you. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully your goalies enjoy it.
Also, let's not forget that we're busy people, and we didn't do a pod not because we didn't have a sponsor, but because, well, number one, my chiller broke again.
Yeah,
you didn't prioritize me, my friendship, my loyalty, or our podcast, and you booked another podcast at the same time that we usually record. So
Shay was with a person that you know.
I don't care because I know him doesn't mean I like him. Who is it?
No, I'm not going to tell you anymore.
Well, it's probably Trav, and if there's Trav, then definitely shame on you.
It wasn't Trav, but now, you know what?
Are you not supposed to promote other things that you do? So you telling me that you did a podcast, but won't tell me which one it is
Daryl Yardles. Did I say it right?
Oh, Daryl Yardley?
Yardley.
Oh, his kid plays on my team.
Yeah. I didn't know. So he reached out to me to do a podcast, just about being a physio and stuff and being a hockey guy. And he's got Glancaster Bombers jersey is his background. I was like, hey, you from Glancaster? He's like, yeah, I'm in Hamilton. I was like, oh, I'm from Caledonia. And he's like, that's how you know Booge. And I was like, all roads lead back to you somehow.
Okay. I didn't know you did it with yards.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that you guys knew until there was a Glancaster Bombers jersey in the background. And then you started talking about it. So that's who I prioritized over you.
Okay. Well, Emerson, so that's Daryl's son. Emerson plays on the team I coach.
Okay.
And Emerson was a kid that I went after because Emerson's got a lot of jam. And I actually really, really enjoy coaching Emerson. He's a tough kid. And he could take my style of coaching fairly well. And he's a kid I don't know if you might block this up, but this kid is when I joke around with boys, you got to go block a shot with your nuts. But I don't use the word nuts. And Yards loves that. He'll be I'm going to go out there. I'm going to block a shot. He's a beauty. And we moved him to center. He's playing center now for us. And he's playing really well. And he's a kid I really, really enjoy. And Daryl's a super good. He's a physio in Hamilton area. And I think he's got a couple clinics, and he is I listen to a lot of his stuff too. And he's very detailed, very professional, very good. So, okay, you get a bypass. You get a pass. I will be to chew you.
We're all going to go get beers when I come home at Christmas, by the way. I'm deciding. I decided for us.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure, why not? Like, my number one rule is I don't drink beer with my parents, so you're breaking my rules for me. What are you, out of your mind? Enjoy your beers with your parents. I love them, but I'm not drinking beers with parents.
All right, we'll drink coffee together then. Fine. Well, he's a successful physio business owner, so I need to learn.
Super,
more about-
super professional guy. He's good. He's good people. I give you a pass now. You never told me that. So, well, now if Yards does hear this, you can be like, he did a podcast. Jamie did zero promotion, didn't tell any of his friends, his only friend, that he even did it. So, shame on you, Jamie.
I'm waiting for the clips to get cut up. Anyways, I'm in a spicy mood, as the kids say. Covers. I'm back to be. I'm back to get some internet hate. It's good. So, two things. She'll try to go on this rebrand of trying to become like the go-to hockey physio. People don't respond well to the physio content. That's okay. People love goalie content, so I'm gonna keep pumping it out. And I love coaching goalies, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But I made 2 posts about closing the glove in the RVH, like the Carey Price, so the Vasilevsky, the closed position. I don't teach it. I actually despise it. And I made the first video was just like, it was like, can like a goalie coach out there explain why they do this? And we got a lot of people explaining it. And to all of them, you're wrong. The only acceptable answer is just feels good. And that's the answer I'm looking for. It's a stupid thing to expose your wrist. It doesn't really maximize coverage that much better or anything. But if you're like, you know what? I like the way it feels. I'm okay with that. Anyone that tried to justify anything and you can hinge better on the post, well, it sounds like your hips are weak. I feel like I get better coverage. You don't. You're making gloves smaller. So there's all these other problems. And then I made a follow-up video where I said, here's one of the reasons I don't teach it. And here's one of the reasons when I see in the pre-scout, and I make sure I get my words right. I said 3 things. I tell my players to shoot there, and I should tell them to shoot there hard for 3 reasons. First off, maybe it goes in. Perfect. Second, if it doesn't, you can't control it, so it's going to create havoc. That's what we want. Or 3, if a goalie's wrist is exposed, it breaks the wrist, and starting goalie is no longer able to play because their wrist is broken. I, as the opposing team, am not upset with that. And the amount of hate that I'm getting from people saying, so gutless and despicable of you to target goalies. And like, listen, you're telling, and there's one thing that I typed is, you're telling me that if you're playing against a team and you're a defenseman or you're a coach and you're coaching the D, and the other team, the way they block shots is by doing a 180 spin in the air, exposing their back to the plate. You are not going to tell your defenseman to absolutely crush that puck as hard as you can at the back. No. You are going to, that's stupid. Just like, and people are going to hate this, at high level hockey, there are coaches that will say, just take a slap shot head high. Scares the team. I don't know what to tell you guys. Competitive hockey is competitive. I don't condone purposely injuring people, but if you are going to position yourself in a way that exposes an open area, you might get hurt. Just like when the Panda came out, and I immediately was like, this is dumb. Do not turn sideways and expose your ribs, the side of your neck and your ear to the puck, because players want to go short side high. You're going to get hurt. Don't do that. The same thing goes for the RVH glove position. And 3 people messaged me and said they had broke their wrist doing this. And 2 other ones had said their goalie partner had broke their wrist doing this. Don't do it.
It's like not wearing a dangler. Like, I just think it's silly to expose something that you know can get hurt. Now, I am a significantly calmer, happier, more well-adjusted human being than you are, obviously, because I wouldn't go out there and say, break his wrist.
I didn't say that.
I don't know. The internet seems to think you're a sadist and just trying to hurt everybody. But, I mean, it's silly. I mean, if a kid says, hey, it's like the argument of skate on post on RVH, and he says, hey, I like it. It feels better. I think it's easier. That's why I do it. Okay. Just know that there's detriments to that position if you do it like that. And if you're a goalie coach that teaches only one way, like if you teach one way to do an RVH, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You have to be able to adjust. Some kids will have more hip mobility, less hip mobility, more flexibility. Ankles are able to go up. Some guys' ankles are down. Some guys can rotate in that position. Some guys are good enough skaters to rotate in and out of that position. So if you're a guy who says, I teach it this way and that's how I teach it, then you're a bad coach. You got to teach it 3 or 4 different ways because every kid is different. So like all these guys that were, I don't know, everybody's been commenting and sending me DMs yelling at me for your post because you tagged them and sometimes I'll put them on my story and I got about 500 people who have entered your giveaway through my DMs, and I don't even say anything. So I'm like, if you're dumb enough to DM me for Jamie's giveaway, then shame on you. You're dumb enough not to win. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the close glove position. But if a kid says it's more comfortable, I want to do it like this, I'm like, okay, you're going to get scored on, but that's your choice. They get to actively make choices for their careers, and we have to let them make bad choices. And if that's what they decide to do, at the end of the year, that probably is a difference of maybe 3 goals. Now, if they want to accept those 3 goals for the argument of comfort, then that is their right. Let them make the bad choices.
See that I like the skate up post example. I like to expose it. Same thing. When I see it when I'm doing drills, I shoot there. I usually sauce it in when doing a goalie skate. But like, I had a kid say like, "Hey, when I go skate on post, sometimes the puck hurts the bottom of my foot when they shoot it there." Like, I don't. There isn't any protection really. If your foot breaks, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but you're actively out there trying to break feet now, breaking wrists now, breaking hearts. You're just
Well, yeah, just big hard fair. So that's like I know the dangler too, right? Like if you slide a don't wear a dangler, and guys taking head high one timers, Ovechkin style, you get hit in the collarbone. I don't know what to tell you.
Did you play when you played pro? Did you wear a dangler?
Yeah, it's funny. There's all the good pictures I have of me are from one game when I played in Cleveland, where I took a puck to the dangler and it broke. So I played the rest of the game without a dangler. And therefore, like all the pictures I post on the internet, I don't have a dangler, but I wore it. I never didn't wear a dangler except for 2 periods in Cleveland, my entire life.
I was gonna say I thought you always wore a dangler, but all the pictures like that, even the ones I have on my phone that I use in some like promotional stuff,
Yeah.
no dangler. But I was pretty sure you wore one. But also like
Yeah, it's a fun.
you get to your level, you get to college and like pro, and like why not have 2 helmets? Why not have a helmet that if you don't want to wear a dangler for the game, then why not just wear a dangler in practice? Because like the argument of like, well, it doesn't look good, my drip and it's loud, like fine, but be safe in practice at least. And you can have 2 helmets. Like it's not a big deal to have a wear practice dangler because you're getting what on average, let's say 100 shots in practice and average game 28. Like you're getting 4 times more shots. There's 4 times more likelihood you're going to get hit in the neck and, die. So wear dangler,
People, I know guys that would in pro would have a practice dangler and they're just not wearing the games. And that's kind of the happy medium that I'm okay with my goalies. Like ones that are like, it's bad sty. Like, it's bad sty, a broken trachea. That's not cool. So
talking one of those things that you got to stick to your neck.
Like that South Park character guy. Yeah. So it's just like wear it in practice and then use clip-ons. And then the game, just don't wear it because you're less likely to eat one in practice. But same thing, like when I do pre-scout, it's an area of weakness. My job is to expose that weakness. I'm not trying to break someone's wrist, but if his wrist gets broken, it gets broken. Anyways, that's my hot take. Actually, no, second hot take. We talked about this many times. Glove position today. It's great when it's American Thanksgiving for the Canadians and Europeans that are listening. So kids are off school. So I have 4 hours, 3 hours this morning, 1 hour this afternoon. But I was skating with a young girl and she's like, "You got to fix my glove." I'm like, "What's wrong with your glove?" You're like, "Well, so-and-so says that it's facing the wrong way and that I'm not presenting big." Right on. Do you get beat glove side? No. Our pucks blowing up out of your glove? No. Have you struggled to catch pucks? No. Is it comfortable? Yes. I'm not touching your glove positioning. And so I go out on a rant. I'll probably make a post of it. Sure, I have a video somewhere. Just like, why are we trying to solve problems that don't exist? You talk about we uncoach goalies from catching. I use the Ben Scrivens example. Do I think holding your glove here is dumb? I do. Ben Scrivens playing in the NHL and I think he still has the record for most saves on the shutout win. I don't think Ben Scrivens taking his glove from here to here would have made him any better of an NHL goalie. In fact, it probably would have made things worse. So unless the goalie is struggling to catch pucks because their hand is in a bad position, just let them catch pucks. Just let them catch pucks. If it becomes a problem, then fix it.
You know what that new issue, like we spent 100 years just changing everybody's gloves and now kids can't catch except for my kids. But the new one is like the old crusty guys is having their stick on the ice. That's the new one. It's like all these old crusty goalie coaches and coaches, you need to have your stick on the ice. Do you? Do you really? Like, do we actually think about this? Critically ask questions of, hey, why are now some of us allowing kids? And this is the thing. This is the big word, is allow. Do I teach kids to hold their stick off the ice? I don't. Do I allow kids to have their stick off the ice when they're a stance? Yes. If it's not an issue, it's not an issue. You only change something if it's an issue. And like the big thing about stick being off the ice now is it loosens up. It takes tightness and tension out of arms. So our hands become faster. It allows goalies to be a little bit more upright in their stance. So upright, narrow base has benefits, more athletic, faster lateral. Pucks are moving more across the Royal Road. The game is changing. They're getting faster east to west. It allows goalies to move east to west. So all these things, but these old crusty goalie coaches that are like, his stick's got to be on the ice. Yes, when he goes down, his stick has to go down. Like if the first thing that touches the ice is his stick before his knees touch the ice to seal a 5-hole, then he can hold it over his head like a flagpole if he wants. So let's let kids tell us the things that will work for them, and then we will make them better instead of trying to change everything and making kids fit our mold. Let's be moldable as coaches ourselves.
Stick in the air is a good one. Like you said, I actually prefer when my goalies have their stick on the ice. The only times I've ever told a kid their stick must be on the ice was when they were too far back, so they weren't being upright. So their hands were coming back, and their stick was in the air, was pulling them backwards. And another kid that I have whose blocker would drift towards the midline because he had no sense of where it was in space. So I said, we're doing the Marc-Andre Fleury. We're going to keep your toe on the ice. The toe part of the stick, not the heel, but yeah, the toe. The edge of the blade. And that's just going to give you a little sense. And if you don't feel that sensation on the ice there, it probably means your stick's drifting where it's not supposed to be. And until you fix it, stick's got to be on the ice. So again, solving solutions. Finding solutions to problems. But how else am I supposed to get views on the internet if I don't make things up? That's
well, you could get arrested for hurting kids. That'd get you. Use the internet.
I can't wait for there's like a huge influx of broken wrists.
Yeah. There's an epidemic. There's an epidemic of broken wrists in the Grand Rapids area goaltending community, all from Jamie Phillips.
Well, there's someone said, I guess Brian builds in extra padding there for that reason. And okay, wear Brian's then, I guess, or just be aware of it. I don't know. It's just one of those ones like be aware. It's like anything. If a goalie's giving up an area, I'm gonna ask my guys to shoot there. I'm gonna ask them to shoot it hard. That is just how we play hockey. It just so happens that I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I don't know. If a goalie doesn't wear knee pads, and I'm like, this guy doesn't have knee pads, so just take some hard shots on the ice because they might go in. You might get a rebound, or you might hit him in the knees. So I don't know what to tell you. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm not going to cut this. Derek decided that he's going to adjust his camera. So all I see is a black screen. And I don't even know if the sound is working.
No, I didn't adjust my camera. I made a rookie mistake and didn't go on Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry. And I was getting a phone call.
This is you not prioritizing our listeners and myself. And that's pretty messed up. Like, I blocked this off my 6 calendars.
It was likely fraud that was calling me. What's the name? Likely fraud.
Well, it wasn't for sure fraud. So did you at least answer it?
No, because I'm podcast caring about the people.
Well, what happens if it was fraud?
I don't know, but can we talk about what has got us the most views in the last 3 years in Canadian goaltending?
Yes. I was also on another podcast. I'm talking this exact same thing without you.
What the?
Between 2 posts with Stefano Catali, aka Mr. Happy, and Sean Butcher, another agent at AHA.
I thought Between 2 posts was the Vaughn podcast.
They're gonna have some trademark issues.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, you're getting sued now. So not only are you hurting kids, you're all lawsuits pending against you for.
Sorry. Good thing I always have lawyers on retainer.
But anyways, okay. I want to say this. Like, I'm so sick of seeing Aiden Hill being in a discussion for Team Canada because he won as the 3rd string goalie 5 years ago, and his inability to move at all and skate at all. And then to try and say that they think he can play at the highest level of hockey that's ever been played in the Olympics, where the game is going to be so fast and he can't keep up. And a guy, like, finally today, November 26th, did I finally see somebody bring up Scott Wedgwood's name as a guy who's 12-1-3 and absolutely tearing the cover off the ball. He's a baseball reference in Colorado on the #1 team in the league. Finally get a little bit of love and say he has been discussed. If Logan Thompson doesn't make this team, I'm going to drive off the Skyway Bridge. We've now conclusion that Jordan Binnington can go. He has earned the right. We have to. We can't talk about there. He's there, and he deserves it. But come on, people. Binnington, Thompson, Wedgwood.
Yeah, the Between Who Knows trademarked lawsuit pending allegedly podcast. It was the same thing, and we got in a massive argument because both of those guys did not think that Jordan Binnington is the guy or should be the guy. And the same thing. He just wins. He just wins. We talk about it all the time. He just wins. Do I think he is the most consistent NHL goalie? I do not.
Yep.
Do I think that someone else might actually take them to get to the championship game? Yes. But Jordan Binnington is going to be there when it matters.
I say this, over 82 games, Jordan Binnington is going to do this. Right? But he's going to prove it just like last year. He got St. Louis into the playoffs. They were out of the playoffs. It made a coaching change. Jordan Binnington got named to 4 Nations. Wins the 4 Nations, I would say, almost by himself that game against the U.S. Then single-handedly takes St. Louis to the playoffs. And then almost it comes within 7 seconds of knocking off the #1 seed in the West in Game 7. The guy can play big games. Is he the best goalie over 82 games? No. So don't play him 82 games. Play him 50. You can play 50 games, 45 yet. Like, find his butter. But then when you get into big playoff games and big moments, this guy has the clutch gene. Yes. Yeah, and I was leading the parade of don't let Jordan Binnington make Team Canada last year, and I'm eating humble soup now. So I assume you won that argument, or do they just, like, what happened?
Well, it was to be determined, right? We'll know it in February. Now, I also am on the same page with you. Is if Logan Thompson is not on Team Canada, then you know that the fix is in. Like, we know the Vegas guys are all in charge, which is probably why they want Hill so bad. But, like, come on. I think based on media pressure now, like, people are just realizing that, okay, Logan Thompson has been number one or top three best goalies in the league statistically for the last 2 years. He has to be on the team. But there's still that seed of doubt because those guys don't like him. And
this is what I'm going to bring this up for the third time. These idiot guys in Vegas that are idiot. The year they won the Stanley Cup, who started their first 2 playoff games? It wasn't Aiden Hill.
was it Leonard?
No, it was Lothar.
Or Dansk? Oh, it was Logan Tull. That's right.
And then it was Laurent Brossoit, and he got hurt. And then Aiden Hill came in. So Aiden Hill was their third choice that year that they won the cup. That guy has made millions and millions of dollars by being the third string goalie going into a playoff run, getting his opportunity, right? And when you get your opportunity, and by all means do something with it, he did. But this idea of like that, oh, he is significantly better, and we have to take him. The guys that don't take Logan Thompson on Team Canada last year are the same guys that made him the starting goalie in their playoff run.
Okay, so before we talk about Wedgwood, friend of the show, I'm just assuming that because he and I used to train together, and Blackwood, goalie partner, also names been in the mix. Okay, let's just say massive bubonic plague comes back, affects Canadian goalies only. We're left with a small few. Do you take Stuart Skinner or do you take Aiden Hill?
Oh my God. I take the guy that drove the Zamboni. Oh. David Ayers. I'm so like March 26th. Plus, I watched that Dallas Edmonton game, and more or less 5 goals on 9 shots. 1 goal I got called back for eye stick. But that defense in Edmonton is horrendous.
So bad.
He gave up 4 on 8, and I would say one of them, there's like a shorthanded 2-on-1 where the guy beat him high glove that I thought like he cheated.
He definitely guessed on.
Yeah, the other 3, like, come on, like, holy. But it's funny because I'm watching, and the head coach for Dallas is Glenn Gulletson, who was the assistant coach in Edmonton last year and the year before, and he's been there when they've gone on those runs. And he was primarily like ran their power play in Edmonton last year. And last year, Edmonton had lethal power play. Like you watch the playoffs, all we talked about was so phenomenal. So he goes to Dallas, and Dallas now has the number 1 power play in the league. And Edmonton may miss the playoffs. Like, talk about how guy under the radar as an assistant coach in charge of the power play is now gone to Dallas. And what's the trending difference between these 2 teams? Big difference. Like, you can see a big change. And it's nice to see as a guy who's coaching hockey and looks into this stuff, is like to see an assistant coach who actually made a huge difference. So congrats, Glenn Gulletson, Dallas. And I watched that power play last night. It looks a lot like the Edmonton power play from the playoffs last year.
You still didn't give me an answer. You got to pick someone.
This is like, I can't say that joke. I'll get in trouble. Aiden Hill or Stuart Skinner? I'd have to say Aiden Hill, I guess.
Yeah, I actually was going to say Aiden Hill. Only the fact that I don't think Stuart Skinner has any confidence. Like, he just has no confidence.
Yeah, like maybe just a little more consistent. Like, Stuart Skinner, I think sometimes will give up that full-sighted leaky goal, where I don't think Aiden Hill gives up that goal. So, I mean, in Team Canada's defense, I mean, like, that would be the one thing that I think could make a difference, is that clear-sighted leaky goal that Skinner would give up. But this is the dumbest debate ever.
Hey, injuries happen. Like, injuries.
So, okay, we agree on the 3, right? Me, you, and the rest of the world all agree with me and you. So those are the 3 that everybody in the world agrees should be there: Thompson, Dinner, and Wedgwood. Who's number 4?
Based on this season's play,
Spencer Knight, Canadian.
he's American.
Okay. Well, I would say
I wish. Darcy, you know what? Darcy Kemper, crazy left field take, has been pretty good this year. Also old veteran guy. I think who goes in is Blackwood. Blackwood is a gem of Hockey Canada. They love him, so he can do no wrong. I also think he's pretty good, but like,
hang on, you hit something there. Like, there's Hockey Canada pedigree for sure, right?
oh yeah, oh, why do you think Logan Thompson isn't there?
Wedgwood went to 2 World Juniors.
Yeah, it is true. He did. Why do they keep sleeping on him? I think it is because he's the stigma of a backup. Even though he is dominating and Blackwood is out, he has the stigma of being a career backup. Yeah. People can't see around that. They can't see that. But let's get real here. Logan Thompson, number 1. Let's have a really good, consistent backup, number 2, who can step up when you need it. Scott Wedgwood, right there.
An NHL backup for a long time and then was just unreal for a long time. Actually, a couple guys, but off the top of my head, Craig Binnington.
Craig Binnington?
That's the wrong name. Craig Anderson, not Craig Binnington.
Craig Anderson. I was just saying, I don't know who that is.
Second I said Craig Anderson. Sorry. But Craig Anderson was a career traveling showcase guy, and then all of a sudden he gets an opportunity in Ottawa, and then he was unbelievable when he was a little bit in Florida, and he was all over the place. But man, that guy was the second half of that guy's career was unreal. So why can't Wedgwood do that? Because I think Wedgwood's a 92. I think he's a year older than you. Mm-hmm. He played World Juniors with Viz that year that they, things didn't go well. And so yeah, he's what? 90, he'd be 20. How old are you? 30, trying to do math, 30. So he's 33. The guy that could be that. He could be a Craig Anderson and played till he's 38, 39. And that last 6 or 7 years of his career is just super steady and solid, and he's going to make a lot of money, and that could be him. And the other guy I was thinking of was Tim Thomas, right? Another guy in his late 30s comes back to the league and wins a Stanley Cup, wins a Hart Trophy, wins a Vezina Trophy, wins a Conn Smythe.
It was Tim Thomas good outside of that year that he won Stanley Cup?
Tim Thomas had a stretch of 3 or 4 years.
Okay. I don't know his stat line well enough to say. I mean, he was phenomenal in that Stanley Cup winning year, obviously.
Yeah, he had a stretch. But same with Hasek. Hasek took a long time. Right? Hasek was in Chicago and was a throwaway in the early 90s.
True.
Right? And Chicago basically threw him away to Buffalo because they had Ed Belfour, and then he goes to Buffalo in the 95 year and is he in anybody's non-goalie Mount Rushmore? I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, I root for Wedgwood. I also root for Logan Thompson. And you know what? Jordan Binnington's going to get it done. And I gave Hefta and Sean the same question of, you have one game to win. Do you take Helly or Binnington? And neither of them took Binnington.
Yeah, because they're Americans.
No, Hef's Canadian.
Oh, he's an idiot then. You tell him I said that. I'm going to text him after this and be like, you're nuts. Over again. Hellebuck has proved that he can't win the big one.
Have you talked to Fazio at all in the last recently? Because we were doing the whole pod, we were breaking down all the goalies for each team, and I was like, I don't really know anyone outside of the major countries. But Foz isn't on the list for Team Italy at all. And he's represented them in the World Championships and stuff. I know he's playing in the UK league, but he's doing really well. I don't know if you had reached out to him or why he wasn't in the top 3 or contending for Team Italy.
No, I haven't talked to Faz in I'd say 5 or 6 years since he's not yet. Just you lose touch with some of those guys. But I was following, I follow, if he posts something on Instagram, I'll follow it, and I'll eat prospects to see how his years go, but I haven't seen him for at least 5 years.
couple years. Yeah, I thought he was going to be for sure with Team Italy this year, but I know they have. I can't remember the name. They have that high draft pick to Anaheim who's playing in Sweden. They have a guy who's playing either in Italy or he's on the coast, one of the two. Another one. Actually, one of the funny things is good thing other people do their homework because I just don't do it. Sean came in with the list of each team, and like everybody was like 6'5", 6'6". They're like, okay, like so and so from this country, and like I don't know what that is. They're like, it's a 6'6" goalie currently playing in France. Like, geez, be tall, just be tall, I guess. I guess we didn't really, we never have plans for this. We just briefly text about what we want to talk about. Okay, there's a little bit of talk. Well, obviously, talk. Everton needs to make a goaltending change if they want to win a Stanley Cup in the McDavid era. Money is tight. Good goalies are expensive. Given, let's just say hypothetically, a team is willing to retain the salary, half of a goalie's salary, with of who's out in the market right now. If you're the GM of Edmonton, excuse me, the GM of Edmonton, who are you trying to get? Obviously, you can't get Bobrovsky. Okay, so you're saying Saros. That is my voice. But why? Why is Saros your pick?
He's a veteran. He's had some playoff runs. He is available, probably. That's I think a big one. Like, if you want to just pick anybody, you could pick anybody.
No. I would say, like, based on, like, realist. Like, there's a handful of goalies that are out there. I know, like, Merzlikins has been thrown out. Saros was thrown out. There's a few names that have been, like, tossed out.
Okay, so the three names that I've heard. Saros, Merzlikins, and UPL Buffalo. Those are honestly, if it was me, I would try to get Alex Lyon. I am an actual big Alex Lyon fan. Like, I feel like that guy's played big games and big moments for a bunch of teams. And I want to go back to the Craig Anderson debate. Like, Alex Lyon, I think, is an underrated guy. But I think he's been so good in Buffalo that I think they want him around because I think they believe it's dead in Levi's crease in the future, and they're just trying to get him there. So I think that's that bridge, but I think UPL would be there. But if it was those three, I would have to say I would probably go UC Saros. And I can't really tell you why. Like, I don't pay enough attention to how he's played the last. Like, I mean, you look at his numbers; they're not great, but I mean, they're a pretty poorly compiled team in Nashville. And but I just think he's a guy that a change of scenery would rejuvenate him. I think quite a bit.
Yeah, Saros was my pick too. I like UC Saros. I like that he's like the people's champ as a small goalie, and he's like super athletic, fun to watch. I still think he does too much in the crease, but I also think that might be just because he has to, because he's not very tall. But Edmonton gives up just like the most atrocious backdoor shots and third, fourth, fifth rebounds. Stuart Skinner is not a good enough skater or athletic to make those third, fourth, fifth saves. Sometimes the first save. UC Saros is. He can make those saves. I think Merzlikins is as well. I've been open. We talked about this. I'm not a big Merzlikins fan of this game. I actually think that Merzlikins could fix his game and become very consistent. Just, you know what? My huge ego and arrogance. Just, he comes to Grand Rapids for a summer. I could probably make him better. The UPL is good. I think he's just too young. Not too young. I just don't know. You don't know what you're going to get. Like, UC Saros, you know he's probably going to give you a chance. But I think I like your pick of Lyon. I think if they could get Lyon and Saros to back up, other way around. Saros and Lyon to back up. That is like a pretty elite tandem. I don't think Nashville I don't know. Nashville would have to eat half a salary. I don't know if it's going to happen. Nashville's not good. So, like, there would have to be a lot of good draft picks in there. But they have 2 years to get it done. And they need to do something. And they need to fix up their decor. Or just play a little bit tighter in the diesel.
I think he's, like, if you watch the game that I watched last night, they had that young kid that scored his first NHL goal I can't clutter something, Clattenburg or something like that. I think he's a guy that's way ahead of schedule. So I think if you're Nashville, he's a guy that you probably are looking at wanting to bring in, and you're going to have to eat some salary. Back to Merzlikins, like the one thing about Edmonton is they're so porous, and why you were right about Saros being a good fit is they're so porous and there's so much east to west against them that Merzlikins, I think, doesn't control his depth good enough that I don't think he could have success in Edmonton, where Saros, with his skating ability, can. I think that's what a lot of stuff hurts Skinner. He's big, but he's just not as mobile. And they give up a lot of scoring chances that have like 2-on-1s and backdoor options. And I think he gets stuck a lot in between, like the goal last night. Man, if I was Edmonton, I would try to get Alex Lyon. Like, I really would. Like, I think he's the cheapest. He's, I think, on it. Also, I think he's in the first of a 2-year deal. So you have him for another year. And I mean, you could probably send Pickard the other way. And then Skinner is done this year. He's on his last year of his contract. So you go into the next year with Alex Lyon and then bring in, if you want to bring in another kind of semi-veteran or bring in one of your young guys that are in the system. I mean, but nobody's asking me. But that's what I would be doing. And I mean, like, if you're Buffalo, you can get UPL and Devin Levi back up at the NHL level, they also like that Colton Ellis kid. Like, they're a big fan of Colton Ellis, who came from Nashville's system and signed in Buffalo this year, and he's had a lot of success at the NHL level. So maybe they go Colton Ellis and UPL and leave Devin Levi in the AHL. So there's lots of things you can do, but I think it, honest to God, comes down to Edmonton's will to bring a goalie in. Everybody's talked about it for 3, and they haven't done anything. They've just run it back with the same 2 over and over again. So they're seeing something different that everybody else is seeing, and they have that right to make that choice. It's their team, but as an outsider looking in, it's like, when is enough enough? Like, when is Connor McDavid going to be like, get somebody in here?
I like Skinner as my number 2. Like, he's shown that he can play good games. He's shown he can win games. He's taken the Stanley Cup twice. Like, let's not forget he has done that. I think I think I would take him as a number 2. Like, if that means you could save some money in getting Alex Lyon, move Pickard, and hopefully Nashville eats 25 to 50% salary, and you get Saros. I don't know if Edmonton's going to be able to get it done this year because they play a lot of hockey in the last handful of years. That is exhausting. Just like Florida, I don't know if Florida's going to win the cup this year just because, again, same thing. They've been in Stanley Cup championships 3 years in a row. Like, they are tired.
Florida also, like, they're losing they have their best 2 players. Like, Barkov's out, Kachuk's been out. I can't see Edmonton being able to move Stuart Skinner. Like, nobody's going to take him, and he's on the left. You're right. He's to me, he's the backup. He's your insurance if you need him, but you got to go get Alex Lyon. And if it happens, everybody can say, hey, Boosh called it.
That is true. Yeah, Merzlikins, same thing. Depth management and stance width. Kill him. He's too aggressive. He gets locked in too much, which is crazy because he's like ultra athletic too. Where it's like, hey, just like narrow your stance up like a little bit and have a little backwards momentum, and you're going to make a lot more saves.
I go back 18 months, and Columbus basically gave up on Jenkins. Like, they brought in they brought up who was supposed to be their guy, and he just hasn't been able to come in and handle it. So they've had to go back to Merzlikins, who's having, in the last 18 months, has made big strides in his game. But if I'm a team that wants to win a Stanley Cup, he's not my answer.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think Saros. Dr. Ben Cernick talks about it all the time, like picking goalies that work in your defensive structure. Mentioning many times, the reason Ullmark was successful in Boston, they didn't really give up a whole lot of lateral plays. Ullmark, not the greatest skater, not the most athletic, really good at making those just straight up saves. Send them to, when he was in Buffalo, we sent him to Ottawa, weak defensive systems, lots of lateral movement, not as successful. UC Saros, very athletic, very good at making lateral, second, tertiary saves. Edmonton gives that up. You need a goalie that's going to work in your system. Skinner, not your guy. Pickford, definitely not your guy. Like a guy like Aiden Hill, not going to have success in that system. One last name for you, Lon, is it would never happen, but I think Spencer Knight would be. I wish Edmonton had got Spencer Knight before Chicago got him.
Oh,
Because he's so good. He's so good.
2 years ago, Spencer Knight was, before Florida won the Cup, Spencer Knight was the number one goalie in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy. Bobrovsky was still struggling. Spencer Knight was the guy. Then Spencer Knight had his...
You had the player assistance program for anxiety and depression, right?
Yeah, but he was the guy. He was the man, the guy coming up. And then Bob kind of figured it out, but they were going to run and die with Spencer Knight. And I think he's still to this day underrated. And I went before, I do want to go back to Saros because I do have something to say about that. But me and Weston went to Buffalo-Chicago game on Saturday. 9-3 win for Buffalo. And I was hoping to see Spencer Knight play. He played the Friday night, so they played Soderblom, who I've now watched play 4 times. Poor Soderblom, like, he got hung out to dry by Chicago hung him out to dry. But this is the second time I watched Connor Bedard play live. I went and watched him play last year in Toronto, and he was not good. I left very disappointed. And I brought Weston specifically, like, I want to make sure you watch the best players of your generation before they retire, because my mom instilled this in me. Like, her biggest regret was never taking me to watch Wayne Gretzky. And she told me that when I was like 15 years old. And I'm like, I'm going to make sure. So I made sure Weston has seen McDavid. He's seen Crosby. We watched Bedard. And I just want to make sure he sees these guys. So we leave that and I'm like, man, he was not good. Fast forward 1 year, almost exactly 1 year, and Connor Bedard was unbelievable. He has nobody to play with in Chicago. His line mate is Tyler Bertuzzi. God bless Tyler Bertuzzi, but this is a Chris Kunitz, Sidney Crosby situation where I can honestly say, and people might think I'm crazy, other than Sidney Crosby, I haven't seen anybody protect the puck as well as Connor Bedard for a guy who's like 5'10". And it was funny. He was skating down the ice for a defensive zone faceoff, standing beside Tage Thompson. And Tage Thompson's a big human. And it looked like a child and a father skating, and it was hilarious. But Connor Bedard is the real deal. And this guy has figured it out, and he's like 5th in league scoring, and he is just getting better. And he plays at a pace that not a lot of guys in the NHL at the highest level play. And when he gets some guys surrounding him, holy crap, he's going to be what was advertised. But back to Saros. The thing I was going to say is, if we go back, flash back a couple years ago, and we think about some of those Nashville teams that went on runs when Saros was the guy, and they had a lot of offensive defensemen. So he has experience playing behind a defense core that is more focused on puck movement and joining the rush than they are about kind of the defensive side of the game. So more to like our argument of like Saros or Lyon, that popped into my head because I was thinking about like Ellis and all those guys that he played behind, and PK Subban, and like, so he's got that experience playing behind a system that prioritizes offense.
Yeah. I just think, I think this is why other people are paid millions of dollars to make these decisions, and we just sit in our offices with our Mitch Marner cutouts and talk about what we would do. But
they don't have to pay millions, just pay me hundreds of thousands. I'll make these decisions.
I would do it for hundreds of thousands for sure. I think that's
tens of thousands.
I would do it for $1. I would do it. I honestly, if someone let me call the shots in Edmonton, I would do it for free. So,
or it's a couple of cool cutters. Oh, I swear you got to cut that.
Now I gotta cut it out. Dang it! Just give me every game. I want 100 tickets to the 50-50. That's it. Every game. I'll take my chances. So, I don't really know what else we were going to talk about. I think we had it in our text. We need to do a better job of keeping notes of what this thing just like pop in my head. Oh, we'll have to save that for another time.
We can go back. And I only just because I had a lesson running with junior A goalie who's 18, and I've been kind of pushing him to work more on his visualization skills because they are skills. And he's a kid who's like, yeah, he's like, I don't do that. I don't really prepare that much for the game. And he's now talked about the November lull, right? We talked about it a couple podcasts ago. He's in that November lull where he's really struggling. So this morning I really hammered into the, like, I really want you to start doing your pregame rehearsal, like a lot of visualization. And it's just something that I thought we could talk about because I think with the November lull, but by the time this drops, the November's done. But that's something we can definitely talk about on the next episode for sure.
Yeah, we should probably bank a few episodes. I didn't have anything. The November law was one thing I wanted to write down was talking to coaches and talking to scouts. My 2010 goalie is either like 2010s are in their draft year. He's starting to get those phone calls from teams, and kids are starting to get phone. A few of my shooters that train here with me and my staff are starting to get phone calls from major junior teams, and I want to make sure that the kids understand how to do the things, all the things that you taught me that I didn't know, like what to say and how to navigate these questions. I'm going to do a presentation for our 2010s, actually for basically our older kids, boys and girls, because they're at the ages where teams call, and we'll save that for another episode. But just basically how to handle yourself in like a job interview on the phone when you're talking to the goalie people. When you're not talking to the goalie people, you're talking to GM, scouts, or whatever. And then if something that's new now is teams like invite kids to like watch games and stuff. I don't know if that's always been going on, and I just wasn't good enough to get invited, but that's happening now.
I don't know. That's more like,
Yeah, I was like, they're like, oh, so and so was invited to go watch a game of this major junior team. I was like, well, that's really cool. Make sure you wear a golf shirt and like some like Lulu pants, not joggers, and don't you dare.
Crocs, you idiots.
Yeah, and don't you dare think about going to the gift shop and getting a hat. You're trying to play here. You're not a fan. So, because I told that to the kid. He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Listen, you need to act like you want to be here. You need to show that you're not here to be a fan of the team. You're here to be the starting center, starting goalie, starting defenseman. Like,
Let's also remember, if they're inviting you to a game, they want you.
yeah,
Like, don't give up too much leverage. Plus, what's going on here? That's why it doesn't make sense. More of a college recruiting thing than it is a major junior thing.
yeah." But I wonder if with like just the new changes, that's starting to become kind of the norm. I don't know. It was new to me, so I gotta prepare my athletes to be ready.
Well, I can't see it because the rules change, but is it American? Like they're just trying to convince the American kid to play major junior in Canada. Like, but I feel like that is not something they have to do anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would have to guess that they're worried about the program taking these like the best kids. So if they can get them in first and expose, because all the American kids want to do is play the program. Just like every Canadian kid probably just wants to play either in their hometown team or the London Knights. So, like, get them exposed to major junior, the cities and stuff that they've never been to early, and show them the atmosphere, and then be like, hey, you can go play at the program where no one watches the games, or you can have 8,000 people in, I don't know, Bradford Bulldogs or whatever, and arena's bumping, and it's awesome time to play, right? So I don't know. All right, any parting shots? Because I got a patient I got to run to since you were actually an hour late, 30 minutes late, and then another 15 minutes late after that. So,
Parting shots. No, just check out my vlog. I'm gonna get back on I'm gonna get back into some consistent posting of the vlog. Giving out a free week of training by my next giveaway before Christmas. I'm gonna do a Christmas gift episode. So all these things that I think as a parent you can buy your kid that are pretty cool Christmas gifts that won't break the bank, like buying them a Bauer Pulse, which I have to do tomorrow for my shop. I make the worst bets in the world. And other than that, yeah, just check me out on YouTube at Boujang Goaltending Dark, whatever. YouTube channel.
Go follow Booge so that he can monetize his channel.
Close. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Hey,
I'm
yeah, I don't.
on Instagram.
You're almost at 10,000 Instagram, like you said.
No, 6,000. Get out of here. 10,000.
Oh, I'm surprised you don't have more than that. I need to start tagging you in all my hot take videos. Then they get some people yelling at you. I don't really have any parting shots. By the time this episode drops, I'll probably would have given away my gear. If you haven't entered by now, it's probably too late. If you want 30 ways in 30 days to become a better hockey player or just by training, nutrition, all those things, there's going to be a link down below on YouTube and the podcast. It's just the newsletter that I have, and I send out tips 2, 3, 4 times a week of different things that you can do to make yourself a better hockey player and make yourself a more resilient athlete so you're less likely to get injured. So 30 ways, 30 days. Click the link, sign up, right to your inbox multiple times a week. All right. Anything else? We good to go?
That's it.
There you go. Thanks everyone for listening. If you liked it, share it with a friend. Hopefully they get some value out of it.